Hey guys, welcome to Halloweek. This year I thought it would be fun to actually do a sort of theme with the series. Every previous year I just kind of did whatever, but this year I want to do a theme and I will be doing a jack-o'-lantern theme. Forgive me if I keep randomly sinking. The hydraulics in my chair are broken, so I just keep going down and down and down. So I don't know, I'll probably be like barely in screen by the end of this. Hopefully not. Anyway, first up I'll be doing a sort of witchy decor item. Since I'm a witch, I'm gonna be making a jack-o'-lantern themed incense burner. I'm gonna do a backflow incense burner. If you don't know what those are, instead of like the traditional stick that just burns from the top of the stick, it is a cone. Do I have one over here actually? It's a cone, and then it has a little hole in the bottom. You burn the top, and then smoke comes out of the hole. So if you put it onto a backflow incense burner, usually they're made to make it look like smoke is coming out, or some of them make it look like water, so it'll be like waterfalls or something. Okay, I need to fix my chair. This is so annoying. Haha, there we go. Anyway, today I'm going to be making one where it looks like a jack-o'-lantern and smoke is going to pour out of its mouth and onto a spooky pumpkin patch. So let's get started. To make this incense burner, I'm using some of this DAS air drying clay, DAS, D-A-S. I hemmed and hawed on if using this kind of clay would be safe for a backflow incense burner, and ultimately I decided that I feel comfortable burning incense with a holder made from this clay, as I would never leave burning incense unattended anyway, and really you shouldn't either. So if you end up making something like this, just be careful, use common sense when burning stuff. This clay is the same one that I used to make my Princess Mononoke mask years ago. Yep, I still have a little bit of it left and it's still good, surprisingly. Luckily, it's the terracotta color, so I didn't have to paint it after I was done, since it's the perfect orangey pumpkin color. To start, I made 2 balls of clay, and I pinched them into bowl shapes, making sure that they're the same width because I was going to attach them to make a hollow ball. My idea was to use the backflow incense as the stem of the pumpkin, so I used the incense as the gauge for how big or small I wanted to make the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. When I liked the size that I had, I attached them using a technique called scoring and slipping. I used a needle tool to score around the rim of the bowls. Then I made something called slip, which is basically just watered down clay. I put some small chunks of clay on a Tupperware lid and I added a little bit of water and mixed that up until it was basically super thin clay. I applied that to the scored areas and then stuck them together. To really make sure these pieces were meshed and molded together, I used a tool to score around the seam, and then I smoothed it down to really meld those pieces together. Then I went around the whole thing and smoothed it using a little bit of water here and there to make sure it was as smooth as I could get. Using my finger, I carefully made a dent where I wanted the top of the pumpkin to be, taking care not to press too hard. There's trapped air in that sphere, so if I pressed too hard, it would basically burst at the seams. I made some ridges from the top to the bottom to look like a pumpkin. And then I made the top dent more defined, making sure the incense fit in it nicely. And then I carved the pumpkin. I wish that I had my X-Acto knife for this, but I'm in the middle of rearranging and reorganizing this room. You can't tell because I staged the back to look nice for Halloweek, but over there it looks pretty crazy. I have a bunch of crap on the bed. Yeah, there's a bed in here now. So there's stuff everywhere. This actually, it looks messy, but it looks like staged for, Halloweek, so it's not too bad. But yeah, my X-Acto knife is somewhere, either back there or over on the bed somewhere. I couldn't find it for this whole Halloweek, so you'll see in a future video that I wish I had an X-Acto knife. But anyway, I sort of sketched the face by lightly pressing the design in first. Then I went in with the needle and knife tools and cut away the eyes and the mouth. To get the smoke to flow nicely, I made sure to make the bottom of the mouth basically level with the base of the inside of the pumpkin. I used water to smooth out any imperfections. Then at the top, I cut a hole in the center, about the same size as the hole in the bottom of the incense cones. Now, initially I was going to leave it at that. I was just going to do the pumpkin and then call it done. But after I finished sculpting the guy, I thought it was too small and I had some more clay left over, so I figured I could go a little bit further and make it into a spooky looking pumpkin patch. I wanted these ones to just look like pumpkins. I didn't really want them to look like jack-o'-lanterns. So since they weren't going to be hollow, I made aluminum foil balls to be the base, and then I covered those with clay. Similar to how I did the jack-o'-lantern, I put ridges in these to make them look all pumpkin-y. I rolled out some more clay and pinched up the sides to make the base. I tried fixing most of the big cracks that were around the edges, but I didn't try super duper hard to make them smooth. I don't know, I figured it could look like stony or something. I mean, I think it turned out fine in the end, so. I spent some time coming up with how to lay the pumpkins out, and when I was happy with what I had, I used the slip and score technique to stick them in place. I propped the jack-o'-lantern up on some of the pumpkins to give it some height, so the smoke would flow out and down into the base where it would gather. Now, when I did the slip and score technique for these, I didn't do like I did with the ball, where I basically really made sure they were stuck together by doing the scoring and smoothing it out and stuff. I basically just stuck them in place and that was that. I added some stems and curly vines to finish it off, and then I let it dry. Now, since I didn't really go through and smooth out where they were stuck together with the scoring and slip technique, one of these pumpkins broke off because this clay shrinks when it dries, so it kind of shrunk and just came apart. It wasn't a big deal. I was able to glue it back, thankfully. Pretty much every other pumpkin stayed, so it was just this one problem pumpkin. At first I didn't plan on painting this thing when it was going to just be the single jack-o'-lantern, but I felt like it was kind of missing something when it was the whole scene, the whole pumpkin patch. So I ended up just adding a little color to the stems and vines. I just did brown, and then I painted the base black. So here it is all done. The paint is all dry, and I'm ready to test it out. I have my incense right here. It's gonna go right there. Doop. Yay, what a cutie. Let me light this up, and then we will put it in the incense burner. To get one of these guys started, light the tip of it and let it burn a little until it's got a good glow going. Blow out the fire, and you should start to see some smoke come out of the bottom. Place the incense and wait for the smoke to flow. My AC was blowing right onto this, of course, so the smoke kind of was going crazy at first, but eventually it starts to spill down and fill up the base, which is what I wanted. This looks so cool. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I had been wanting to make an incense burner for a long time. I kept putting it off because ideally, I would do it with ceramic clay, but I don't have access to a kiln at the moment, and I didn't feel comfortable making one of these out of polymer clay because I was worried about fumes and stuff, so yeah, I think that the air drying clay is better, maybe? If you guys know, let me know down below if I should put a disclaimer on this video or something, but for now, I feel safe enough to burn it. I think that painting the base black worked really well. I feel like you can really see the smoke against it. So with these type of incense, when you're done, just tip it into some water to put it out. Don't grab at it because you'll burn yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed the first video for Halloweek this year. Stay tuned tomorrow for the next Halloweek video. Also on Friday, I'm going to be doing a Q&A, so leave a question down below and I'll try to answer it. It doesn't have to be Halloween related, it can be about whatever, since I haven't done a Q&A in a while. I mean, I haven't posted a video in months, and besides that, I haven't posted a Q&A in a while, so what perfect timing than when I come back. I'm probably going to be filming that video on Wednesday, so leave a comment below today and tomorrow, and I'll try to get you in the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Look over there, you see the blinking stuff? No? Here, now you could be a little witch baby.